So I am going to be talking about the missing link between firemen and the Water Bureau. Um, so everyone loves a fireman, right? Like who doesn't? We've got the sexy fireman calendars. We've got everyone being super happy when firemen put out fires. You don't really ever hear anything wrong when it comes to the fire department as opposed to some other departments. And students especially really love fire departments. Like the little kids, elementary school. I know at least the kids on my block always go crazy when they hear a fire truck go by. So when students are learning about the fire department, they learn what services they provide, i.e., putting out fires, as well as what they use hydrants. What they don't learn is who supplies the hydrants and where the water comes from. So I kind of wanted to focus on the link between the Water Bureau and the fire department, which are hydrants. So what the Portland Water Bureau specifically does for fire hydrants is they, one, supply the hydrant and the water itself, as well as the needed pressure to be able to put out those fires, as well as doing water main replacement. So for example, the project going on right now up in Penridge, water main replacement, very specifically called out on the Water Bureau website that they are replacing the mains to help provide needed water pressure for fires.
Your microphone's a bit off.
I am so sorry.
It's okay.
It's going to sound a little bit scuffed, but this shouldn't cut out as often. I just swapped my inputs. And they also replace fire hydrants when they get run over. And if I took one thing away from one of the talks on maintenance, a lot of fire hydrants get run over. So my kind of solution, adopt a fire hydrant. Kinda. It's not going to be like your traditional adopt a street cleanup project. So I was taking inspiration from a couple different places. The Chicago Cows on Parade, which was actually a global tour that went around with local artists painting different types of cows, decorated, painted by local artists of the cities that they were presented in. So Germany had one, Russia had one, the United States had multiple different options. In Cincinnati, they've got the Flying Pigs, which are painted by the local schools. So each school had their own mascot painted on a pig. And more locally, the Portland trash cans. So organized by the Portland city government, specifically calling out the North trash cans. They were painted by Loyola Lovely, Molly Mendoza, and Alex Chu. Each artist had 2 trash cans that they were able to paint. And it was funded by the American Rescue Plan, but it kind of added a little bit more spice, more decoration to the communities. So I thought, okay, let's kind of take this and go towards fire hydrants. I wanted to focus kids because I think just the easiest way to explain it, kids are wild. They get excited over lots of little things that as adults, we don't usually think of as much. In my personal experience, when I was a lot younger, I really loved being able to take something in my community and add something to it. And when we drove past it, walked by, I was like, hey, I helped with that. It was really cool to be able to do that. As well as my little brother, my little sister. My little sister's favorite thing to do when she finally was able to was decorate her own parking spot. My brother was really proud of being able to help build and decorate benches and water buoys in the area that he lived in. So I thought, okay, cool, let's kind of focus on that and lean more towards the kids so they can see the link between the two, saying, hey, cool, we like fire hydrants, but let's talk about how all that gets put together. So I paired up with one of my coworkers' little kids, and she decorated these 2 little fire hydrants as kind of a proof of concept type thing. She was very meticulous in how she described it to me, and how the one on the left-hand side, the black at the top is space, and the green and the pink and the blue, that's the planet Earth. And on the right-hand side, you can kind of see on the bottom, like these are all supposed to be the fireman badges. So she was super excited, super stoked to be able to kind of decorate it and tell a story with it. So I thought, okay, cool, let's expand this, give elementary school all the way up to high school, whoever wants to, a chance to decorate something that can then be recreated on a hydrant in their community. So who do we need to pair with? A couple different places. Funding would be a big thing, especially because it would have to rely on charitable donations. Pairing with the schools that would be helping with the designs would be a good place to start. A lot of PTAs are good with fundraisers and gathering money for other school activities. We could also would need to pair with district fire departments. Just make sure, hey, are there any specific hydrants in the areas you don't want us to touch? Are there some that you would prefer we lean towards, or as well as letting them know, hey, when we do these are the ones that are going to be non-standard, right? Portland Water Bureau, obviously, part of the Portland code is hydrants cannot be altered or changed without their permission. And then who's going to be doing the painting? Local Portland artists, very similar to the trash can project. High school seniors as like a final art project. Eagle Scouts are always looking for something new to do. That's actually was my brother's Eagle Scout project, was repainting and designing the buoys I mentioned earlier, just to draw a little bit more attention to them and, you know, decorate it a little bit more. Couple of considerations. We can't paint the entire fire hydrant. They are color coded from what I did on my reading based on where the water is coming from, as well as what water pressure they supply. But from what I could tell in my readings, it's the cap specifically that marks that. So if we keep the cap, it's color coordinated, regulated color, the body would then be open for designs, as well as, like I mentioned before, alerting the fire hydrant, local fire departments to location of non-standard hydrants. So that way, in case of emergency, they're like, okay, cool, this is one of those areas that has a funky fire hydrant, so that they are aware of everything that's going on. And what else can we do with this? Because, you know, there's only so many hydrants in the area, right? Not every single design is going to be put out. So no, we could put it all into a calendar of all the designs that could then be sold, again, for charitable donations, other fundraising efforts. It can be displayed on the Portland Bureau's website, as well as other media forums. It was really cool that you guys shared with me, the communications team, that for Valentine's Day, you guys had a Tinder profile for a hydrant. I thought, okay, cool. Why not tie these together? Give them their own spice. So, like, you know, this is like this specific hydrant decorated by X. Like, be aware of this. And, you know, we could make sure that's kind of separate the two for like grown-ups versus kids viewpoints, because that is something that would need to be considered. But I thought, hey, kind of cool, tied the two together. But that's my proposal. Thank you so much.